Okay, so my good friend Rob gave me this article, or copy of this article, from a book that he had laying around. Rob from the Observatory, thank you very much for this. And he said it contained the best description of Dungeons and Dragons that he had ever heard. The book is by Cecil Adams, who isn't even a real person apparently. And the book is called The Straight Dope. It was published in 1984, at least the paperback version that was falling apart that he showed me. And anyway, you can probably Wikipedia Cecil Adams, but apparently it's a group of people that assumed a name as a columnist, and they all took turns writing answers to letters that people would write to their Chicago newspaper. But anyway, Wikipedia knows more about it than I do. But let's read what this particular excerpt says, because therein it contains what Rob says is the best description of D&D that he had ever heard. Now, Rob played in the early days when, AD&D, so I'm playing in version, the 5th edition now. So it's a little bit different, but it's still pretty funny. So anyway, the writer writes the newspaper, "In the past few years, I have heard different things about various games played in some colleges in the East. Dungeons and Dragons is one of them. What I would like to know is the different types and rules of these games and where I can learn more about them. RCM from Skokie, Illinois." Now this is Cecil Adams, the assumed character, replying. "The principal game played in colleges in the East, and everywhere else for that matter, is called snoozing your way through 4 years of monotonous drivel so you can collect a piece of paper that entitles you to make twice as much money as the general run of mankind while doing half the work. I played it, and see where I am today, a famous author and certified beautiful person. Most profitable blank nap I ever took. I suppose, however, you were referring to what are loosely called fantasy games, a relatively recent offshoot of the military games that have been around for eons. Dungeons and Dragons, or D&D as it is more familiarly called, is far and away the best-selling of all such games, presently claiming some 400,000 devotees." 1984, guys. Imagine how many people are playing D&D now. I use the word advisedly, worldwide. Quite frankly, I have some reservations about bestowing further publicity on this demented pastime. But a devotion to the noble principles of journalism, which is funny in and of itself, demands that the facts be exposed come what may. D&D was invented in 1974 by one Gary Gygax, whose father was a violinist in the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. This strikes me as significant somehow. Gary moved at an early age to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, where his minions today are cranking out D&D rulebooks, D&D miniature playing pieces, and all sorts of other dubious D&D paraphernalia to palm off on a gullible public. By means of guile and threats of violence, it happens I have managed to get my hands on a couple of those sacred rule books that, let me tell you, buddy, this game is weird. The basic idea in your run-of-the-mill go fish type game is to get all your opponent's cards, or all his checkers, or some other readily graspable commodity. But this is not the case with D&D. Here's a quote from Mr. Gygax on the subject. "The ultimate aim of the game is to gain sufficient esteem as a good player to retire your character. He becomes a kind of mythical, historical figure, someone for others to look up to and admire. A lifetime of Parcheesi does not adequately prepare you for this. To play D&D, you need at least 2 acolytes who play under the guidance of a vaguely Manson-esque personage called the Dungeon Master, DM. By means of various murky protocols involving the use of charts and dice, each player establishes the persona of the character he or she will manipulate in the game, who typically ends up, if male, being an antisocial cutthroat of some sort, or if female, possessed of large grapefruit-like breasts. I deduce the latter from studying the illustrations in the book. And if any of you have seen the early books, oh my gosh, yeah, definitely 12-year-olds were the target audience. Apart from 12-year-old boys, I should say, probably. Apart from predictable characteristics like strength and intelligence, players also have to determine such baffling minutiae as their likelihood of contracting communicable diseases or becoming infested by parasites. I am at a loss to comprehend the significance of such things, but that's what the rulebook says. The preliminaries having been dealt with, the players are led through an imaginary dungeon devised by the DM in search of treasure or something similar. On the way, they will encounter various obstacles and evil creatures, which they will have to defeat or evade. The concept seems simple enough. It is the application that throws me. There are two main problems. One, there are 1 billion rules. And two, the game requires nonstop mathematical finagling that would constipate Einstein. The rulebook is laden with such mystifying pronouncements as the following. An ancient spell-using red dragon of huge size with 88 hit points has a BXPV of 1300, XP/HP total of 1408, SAXPB of 2800, armor class plus special defense plus high intelligence plus saving throw bonus due to HP/die. And an EAXPA of 2550, major breath weapon plus spell use plus attack damage of 3 to 30 per bite, totaling 7,758 hit points. And I think this is the line that Robb really liked the most about the description of D&D. Here we have a game that combines the charm of a Pentagon briefing with the excitement of double-entry bookkeeping. The lure of this sort of thing is beyond my comprehension. It's wonderful. If you wish to know more about Dungeons & Dragons for some reason, you can find D&D paraphernalia at many hobby and game stores, or you may write to Mr. Gygax's company, TSR Hobbies, Incorporated at Box 756, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, 53147. Among numerous things, they offer a monthly magazine called The Dragon, which I understand is principally useful in obfuscating such portions of the game as you think you already understand. Lots of luck, buddy. So, thank you, Robb, for bringing this to my attention, and I hope you guys appreciate me bringing it to yours. If you do, please subscribe. That would immensely help the channel and help me personally. I am the channel, so it would help me personally. And give it a like and share it with your friends. This is a wonderful piece of writing that deserves to go credited, even though it's credited to a Cecil Adams who never actually existed. So enjoy. Thanks. I hope you guys have a great day and have fun gaming.